This is strange. That single thought has grazed my mind a countless number of times since my life here began. It feels like an easy way to discard a troubling question, as if simply labeling something with those three words will make it go away, or at least not worth thinking about any further. My life began to think my life before my heart attack feels more blurry every time I try to remember it, and my mind struggles to keep up all the events suddenly happening around me since. Is that Hasao looking into a teacup? I can't really make out. I think it is. I heard somewhere that this is what it feels like to be left stranded in a country with one of the most basic understanding of the local language. Indeed, when I think about it, that seems a marvelous apt analogy for what's happened to me. But such situations are also supposed to make you very capable in that language very fast, as you're forced to learn it in order to survive. Put another way, the situation becomes a sink or swim. I wonder if I've ever really managed to swim after all this time. The exams are stressing me out a lot, even though if they finally come to an end. But I have remained in Matao's favor. I have some sort of direction for my future now. I keep using that stupid meaningless phrase. This is strange. It really is amazing how fast one comes to accept being surrounded by people with sometimes incredibly jarring disabilities and conditions. So much so that I really wonder why I feel so much like a foreigner. It certainly isn't for the lack of socialization or friends. I've come to know most of my classmates on first-term names, and now a few others around the school. Whether they're missing an arm or a leg, the students here are just like anyone else of their age. I can navigate the halls that I once lost myself in with an ease I not expect to ever have thanks to the school's logical layout. I can engage my teachers in comfortable discussion. I swirl around gently the tea in my cup, the reflective image of my face becoming distorted by the moving liquid. This is strange. I used to hate drinking tea. Maybe I'm thinking too much. The familiar sound of china rattling from a teacup touching an accompanied saucer rings out. Is something the matter? Don't worry, it's nothing. I take a long sip of the tea in front of me, as the girls do, just willing away the time in Lily's room sipping tea with her and Anako. It feels familiar, almost nostalgic. So how's your work in the newspaper club going, Anako? Oh, I want to know too. It sounds like it would be quite interesting. Anako's face turns down at the attention placed upon her, though her smile bellies the fact that she genuinely likes being in the center of the interest for the two of us. It's good. I think I'm getting better at it. Oh, Naomi and a couple of her friends handle most of the jobs, getting stories and stuff. I just do the computer things, like putting the stories together and getting it printed. It's nice since I can sit and concentrate. I see Lily's low-tech nature and shared by Anako. While sitting in a room compiling other people's newspaper articles into documents doesn't strike me as an overly outgoing. It is heartening to see her widening her circle of friends. I'm so proud. Oh my god. Baby steps, I guess. It's probably a bit much to be expecting of her to becoming a socialite like Lily. How are you finding Naomi? I've heard she can be quite troublesome at times. And Lily's going into her mothering mode over Hanako. Letting go of her is something she'd had to learn. Hanako scratches her cheek, thinking of her answer. Naomi is nice. She's a bit loud sometimes and a bit tiring, but she's really helpful. Her friends are nice too. That's wonderful to hear, Hanako. I'm glad you found a source of such enjoyment. Lily's smile is warm and genuine, but I can sense a touch of wistfulness to it as well. Hanako seems to miss that entirely, but I don't think for a second that I'm imagining it. I suppose it's because I'm slowly coming to pay more attention to everything going on around me. With things seemingly happening faster and faster, it feels like I'm missing something. I'll miss something if I'm not observant as possible. With exams, my newfound love life, trying to fit in some studying regarding my options for college and university, and my heart condition applying the brakes on eventually irritating random times, my brain's been in overdrive recently. It makes me appreciate the rare quiet times such as these. I guess this is why Lily came to appreciate her weekly walks to the convenience store and her tea parties with Hanako. Despite her like of being surrounded by others, they gave her a moment of peace in the chaotic and busy life. Thank God the exams are over, eh? A comment draws an earnest chuckle from both the girls. It seems like everybody's been a lot happier since the exams ended last week. So, what are you doing for the summer holidays, Hanako? Only, I quickly count the days in my head. Today's Monday, then school finishes on Saturday. 5 days to go, after all. I was thinking of traveling just around a bit. There's a lot of places I want to see, and I think I have enough money to pay for the bus and train rides. Naomi is one of the other girls in the newspaper club, said they might come along too. Oh my god. Her look indicates she's given the matter quite a lot of thought. I'm kind of surprised that she's contemplating something like this. I have the hugest grin right now. It seems she's really becoming intent on striking out on her own. Is there anywhere in particular you're thinking of going? I was thinking of that Kyoto. Sounds nice. I think I'll try to go to a few places though. Lily nods in approval, happy with Hanako's plans. While I cast my eyes to Lily, I refrained from asking her the same question. She's been evasive with her plans for the future for a long time now, but I never seem to get a good time to broach the subject alone with her. Every time it comes up in conversation, it feels like she's either unsure of herself or simply dodging the question. It's troubling. Be sure to call sometime while you're out and about. I gave you my number before, right? Naoko gives a quick nod, a happy smile on her face. It's strange just to see how happy people seem to become when they have a goal to work towards. Yuko seems to brighten whenever university aspirations are brought up, and now Hanako's just the same. How do you feel this uncertainty? Why do I feel this uncertainty? And why Lily too? Relationships really can be irritatingly troublesome sometimes. Oh, what time is it? Oh, it takes me a second to remember that Lily's clock doesn't have a visual feedback. I really should know, given how many times I've been in her room. Nevertheless, I take my watch from my bag and quickly check it. The reason for her asking becoming clear. It's about 20 past 10, nearly curfew. Hanako rises to her feet, dusting herself off, kneading her gown after doing so. I'd better get going then. Good night, Lily, to sound. Sleep well, Hanako. See you tomorrow. With that, she walks to the door and quietly makes her exit. Silence. This seems to be happening more and more between Lily and I. Recently, after a few seconds, I finally find something to talk about. Well, yeah, I talked to Mental on Friday. I finally checked out some guides on college and how to apply for it. That's good news. If you're going to be applying for colleges, I assume you have some idea in mind of what you might do in the future? I think I've settled on becoming a science teacher. It's going to take a while to get through university and everything to be qualified, but I think it'll work. It'll be worth it. That's nice, Sal. That's really nice. And my chair squeaks too, because of how proud it is. Lily's face brightens considerably at the news. I suppose with her wish to becoming a teacher, she's delighted that I take the same kind of path. So if you decided on a career of teaching, I think the path suits you most excellently, Sal. I smile and nod. This time, even I know she can't see me doing so. I know she can't see me doing so. I know she feels it. I imagine Metal had taken to the news well. Well, that's one word for it. Hey Lily. Yes? I know you want to be a teacher, but For a second, I wonder whether I should ask her the question in my mind, but was quickly brushed aside by the fact that this is rather late to have a second thought. Surely you don't think I'd be offended by something regarding my blindness. Her accusing tone is betrayed by her grinning face. I've used up my awkwardness in raising the topics. Some things never change. Good point, I guess. I was just thinking whether or not being blind would be a hindrance with your ambition to becoming a teacher and all. She looked mildly surprised given the question, some thought. I refuse to think there's never actually pondered the issue before. I wonder, Sao, could you close your eyes for a moment? Okay. Raising an eyebrow, I do as she requests. I have no idea what she has in mind, and my question only increases as I peek out from one eye. Taking the black ribbon she wears in her hair from the cabinet beside her bed, she advances towards me while running it through her fingers to remove any stray of hair remaining on the piece of cloth. I suddenly click on her intentions as I feel the back strip make contact with my face, wrapping around my head over my eyes. What exactly is this for? A little test, Sal. Since you seem to be wondering, I'll let you see things as I do from time. Huh. So, that's what this is about. Oh, I'm sorry. To be honest, this actually sounds kind of fun. Childish and rather silly to anyone who would be watching, but a bit silly fun never hurt anyone. I stand up and heave my hands, quickly moving out in front of me to warn me of any obstacles. Okay, now what? Now, touch me. If you say so. Now then. I slowly make my way forward towards the sound of Lily's voice. My walking speed could barely even be called a shuffle, the entire experience feeling alien though, enough that I don't want to risk any advertent tripping over anything, such as her table or a haphazard piles of books. Something soft yet solid brushes against my left leg. Further inspection reveals it to be Lily's bed. I move onward to finding myself thankful that Lily's room isn't so neat and tidy. Even the piles of books she had are generally kept close to the wall and well out of harm's way. This hard wall pressing against my outstretched hand makes me furrow my brow in frustration. Hey Lily, where are you? What are you doing over there? I'm over here. Lily's voice comes from the other side of the room, far from where it was before. Even to my untrained ears, if she's going out of her way to avoid me teaching her, then this is just this game to her. Of course it is, compared to a life where even the concept of sight is an abstract one. A few minutes in blindfold or nothing. I guess she's made her point. She's more than capable of navigating her room and further. I've seen how independent she is, even when compared to many of the others in Yumaku. Well, even if this is just a game, I might as well play it wholeheartedly. With a pace much quicker than before, I move towards the source of her voice, deftly sidestepping the table in the center of her room, thanks to remembering its position. Got you now. She gives an impish giggle, one just long enough to work out that she's passing just beside me. I quickly turn my face to the new direction. The table wasn't there before. I slowly sit up next to the table, raising my blindfold as I rub my aching head. I give an irritated kick to the table that's sitting just in front of where I fell. Utterly pointless, but the thing deserved it. It's how? Lily's just standing just to my side, obviously unsure what befallen to me. Sorry, I kind of fell over. Are you hurt? My head hurts, but I think I'm okay. I think the table moved in order to trip me over. She giggles as she walks over and takes a seat beside me, her hand resting on my own. I suppose that's the end of that then. I think so. But I think I get the point though. I do wish it hadn't involved such a headache. Lily suddenly looks a blank. Point? I returned an extraordinarily flat look. That was just for fun? I just thought it might ease you up a little about the subject. You always seem to tiptoe around it after all. In regard to teaching, sight isn't that important. There are plenty of classes taught by entirely blind teachers, and most of the then enough resources for me to learn the subject. It's as simple as that, really. I slump my shoulders and give a snort of amusement. Yeah, I understand. I guess we'll both have to work hard to reach our goals then. What is it? It's without hesitation, Lily pushes forward her chin and closes her eyes in an unmistakable gesture. Again with this. I accept gladly, our lips touching. As they do, I suddenly feel her hand knocking up my chest from underneath my shirt. The feeling her hand against my bare skin is enough to make my heart suddenly accelerate. So she's in that kind of mood again. I'm hardly one to complain. She does genuinely like this, and even with all my medications, my libido is thankfully still intact. I lean into the kiss further, holding her hand tightly as I feel it tracing the contours of my chest. Eventually we break off from one another, the room silent but from our breathing. Hey Sal. Yeah? I don't suppose you could wear the blindfold again. Her tentative suggestion takes me by surprise. Oh boy, things are getting a little kinky in here. I suppose she wants to introduce me to sex through her eyes as well. Or just wants to find out what I'll be like during the act while hampered by the blindfold. With a measure of unease tempered by curiosity, I do, and she says, and lowers the blindfold over my eyes. The world becomes dark once again. I reflexively tense as I feel Lily's hand gesture the brush beside my face, entirely unable to anticipate her touch. I really need to get more used to the contact like this, even though after the weeks we've been going out, it isn't natural for me to, as it is for her. Silence? Hey, Lily. Shh. I obediently follow her instruction and quietly listen, trying to make out anything that's happening around me. Compared to before when I was chasing Lily, I need to carefully navigate the room's obstacles now gone. I can take my time and concentrate much harder on listening. It takes a while, but I can eventually pick out the soft sound of her breathing in the otherwise dead silent room. In, out. What? See, what's going on here? Measuring against my own breathing, I realize it's definitely deeper than normal, especially for her. Another sound makes its way to my ears, one that I can't identify immediately. I don't think I've heard it before, but my heart skips a beat as I realize its source. My hand almost reflectively reaching out towards it. Her face feels softer than usual under my touch, her head just barely turning in acknowledgement towards the fingers on her cheek. Sal? I gulp and I take a moment to try and calm down. I need all the concentration I can muster while I'm like this in order to fully take in my surroundings. After a few deep breaths, I think I managed to collect myself with a touch so light that it would disturb a feather. I start to move my hand down her body, and I can feel myself losing focus again thanks to those silken pajamas of her resting so perfectly over the curves of her body. If she's like this now, that means she has been sitting against her bed facing me. Now to continue. Alright, this must be her hip. If I just move slowly downward. Lily's breath catches as my hand comes over hers, tenderly following her fingers between her legs, losing them as they go underneath her underwear. This is getting a little, yeah. Just the slightest moisture touches my fingertips, just enough to easily work out what she's doing. She's masturbating. My mind suddenly fills with a vision of what she must be like in front of me right now. I'd never even imagined her doing this before, and being unable to see her doing this act only enhances the mood. Oh god. Okay, good. Okay. I worked the blindfold upward, brushing out my eyes, a couple of hairs that were stuck to the ribbon before. You know what? I'm just gonna... You never know. For a period of time, I can only guess at my mind going completely blank. All I can do is stare at the nearly freed eyes taking everything in front of me. Yep, alright. No, good call for me, I guess. Just as I worked out, Lily sits in front of me. With one hand on the ground, steady herself, the other fingers lightly brushing between her legs. Hidden by the dark blue hair, or dark blue underwear, I think the most erotic sight I've ever seen. Once again I reach out and brush her hair from her face, her chin tilting outwards as she fills her pleasure-racked body with another breath of air. Lily. Lily looks oddly cute as she's smiling at my calling of her name. It always seems like it's at the moment when she's at least attentive that she let the most interesting motions slip out. It's not long before she works her fingers over herself faster than before. Excitement evidently rising, the scent of her sweat is the air only echoing that fact. I sit in front of her. It's hardly as if my own arousal is holding still. It's still taking every fiber of my being to let her continue herself instead of pushing myself on top of her. It's strange, I initially found her... This picture right now is okay, but I'm still just not gonna show it. And I'll show it for a split second, hold that. Cloud of blue eyes, but to be distracting. Almost disturbing lack of focus that bothers me far less than it used to now. My attention focuses on her as she lets out a whimper, her breath coming such faster than before, and her lips slightly rocking. No sooner do I realize now how close to the edge of Lily's become, that her breath catches her eyes clasp shut as every muscle in her body seems to contract, and she unmistakably reaches her climax. Alright, why didn't I read the other ones? Because, wait. No. What the fuck? My adult, oh, okay, alright. No wonder. Alright, let's just keep going. For a few seconds, she tightens huddled in ecstasy before her body relaxes a long drawn sigh from her lips. I have no idea what to say since it rains, while I simply watch her hanging over her face and she exhausted. Miss How? When she reaches out to brush my face, my urge to take complete control of my body. Well, it's so much of a scent, though, I push myself over pain. It turns out the thing, wait, it turns out that this wasn't disabled. I was wondering why we were in that part while I was reading pretty much a sex scene. Yeah. Parallel above her playing video, first time in accident, I feel physically strong. Lily, I want you. To my surprise, she smiles weakly before reaching upward to feel the side of my face. It's almost a cheeky expression of that kind, which she usually gives only after getting something out of me. You wanted me to do this? She holds her head, her smile, and gives a silent nod. I guess it was an effective way to make me feel, take initiative once. And again, to my surprise, she gives the ribbon still around my head a sharp tug downwards. Once again, I'm lost in complete blackness. I told you to keep it on, didn't I? The teasing edge to Lily's voice, punctuated by her breathing, she never seems to lose her ability to take control of the situation. But this one time. It's Hal, what are you? I slide my hand underneath her soft, silk skin, letting my hand gently raise her eyebrow with a measure of difficulty. While I want to describe her as heavy, her height makes her more than handful to try and lift. It only takes a couple of careful steps to feel the edge of her bed against my legs. My lowering of Lily onto her sheets just as gentle as when I raised her. Your bed will be more comfortable than the floor, right? Always the gentle and hard you. Okay, this is really weird, awkward. Quickly run down my Lily's long, shapely legs. Their allure far from diminished without the luxury of sight, and pull out her pajamas short underwear from her ankle. I have no idea where those just went. Well, I guess it doesn't matter, they'll be somewhere around. With a minimum of fuss, I shovel down. Pajamas, I think between their legs, with one hand I'm ready to steady myself, my right moves tentatively downwards. Oops, my first contact with her, and my palm clumsily meeting in front of her nose. She giggles a little before turning her head sideways and taking my cue. I gently cradle her sheagle. Or, sheagle, yeah. I use my thumb to feel the contours of her face, as she so often does with me. This would be a lot easier if she wasn't moving her face into my hand, but the feeling of her nuzzling into my is nice. I swallow to try and steady myself, taking my other hand from the bed and use it to guide myself into her. As soon as I feel warmth around me, I quickly realize just how turned on I am. With my sight gone, I feel concentrate far more on my other senses, including tactile feeling, and the entire experience feels more vivid, more intense than it's been before. Yeah. I slowly start to move with my head back and forth. Yep. I feel Lily's eyes clenching shut, the movement of her cheek over my thumb. Under my thumb reminded me of gentle hard to stop myself from being completely overwhelmed. It's hard to think that this what's actually do life for her experience is all every sense but the one I hold dearest. From one cheek to her neck, I begin to slide down in order to take the feeling to her body. The contours of her collarbone, the light dew resting on her skin. My sense of smell is stimulated by the scent of her sweat and mine hanging in the air. Even the ambient smell, noticeably different from my own, adds to the feeling. When I move my hand to her supple rest, feel my ear along with the sound of her act. The skin under my hand moves back and forth with each thrust, and my grip on it tightening as my lust for the near-naked body of Lily before me grows. I can even feel her lumping sound turns to I feel her hand. Yep. More. I want more. I feel my chest tightening as I rock back and forth frantically, both of us entirely taken with ourselves. Nothing that unusual. I just need to take a deep breath to steady myself. This feeling is just normal. This isn't. I can't. This pain. It's too much. I stumble backward from Illy and sadly haste, clumsily hitting the back of my foot against the table and falling to the ground with unceremonious crash. Breathing wildly, I frantically scrape the ribbon over my eyes and I lay on my back. I have to get this off. For a moment, everything goes blank, as a rush of newfound light assaults my eyes and my breath slows from the brink of hyperventilation. Seconds pass and I carefully measure out the rhythm of my heart beats with every ounce of concentration I can muster. My heart is normal. It's back to normal. Well, that was a bad time to have a heart attack. My body feels utterly bizarre as I lay dazed on the floor, looking at the ceiling. Sal might not have liked that he had a heart attack then, but I'm sort of okay with it. The adrenaline from before is still pouring through my veins, but my mind is completely exhausted. I prop myself up as I hear Lily getting off the bed coming towards me. Oh, jeez. Is that where you take us, Sal? I'm fine, Lily. I'm fine. She uses a sigh of relief, worried expression collapsing. Her face afterwards is the very last I'd ever want to see from her. The face I've just tested when I first saw my parents in the hospital all those months ago. Pity. Lily pities me. Okay. Closing my eyes and turn away powerless, I feel like throwing up. I can hear the sound of Lily moving away and quickly attending to herself, the ruffling of her clothing being pulled back on after a few moments of searching, just barely audible. Sorry. She slowly shakes her head as she finishes buttoning up her top. Her kind smile is so fragile, so delicate that it makes my heart sink. Approaching carefully, she feels out the edge of the low table before taking a seat next to me, putting her arms around my chest. I'm sorry, Sal. I shouldn't have pushed my desires onto you. You don't need to apologize. I'd normally be fine. You've seen that much before. I guess I shouldn't have just tried to push myself so far. My eyelids feel heavy, calmly sitting next to her. Like this is probably letting the adrenaline work itself out of my system and letting my mind relax. So that's why you never took the lead? I guess it's a good thing you like to, huh? This joke seems to lighten her expression a little, the fact which helps her let me feel less uneasy about my unreliable self. When his head comes to rest on my shoulders, I struggle to keep my eyes open with more difficulty after each blink. I feel completely drained. It's okay, it's Al. It's all okay. No, she no sooner does she can say this than a small quiet tune escapes her lips. Entirely to think, tired, entirely too tired to think. All I can do is listen to her soft humming. A soft, almost melancholic tune. It sounds familiar, but the more I try to remember its origin, the less I seem to be able to concentrate. It's probably the music box that he gave her. A feeling and scent of her head gently resting on my shoulder and her warm body against my side are soothing. The soft humming of her voice, too, relaxes my mind as much as her warmth relaxes my muscle. Jesus. This is a singular quiet moment after all this fracas. It makes me realize just how exhausted I've become. I can feel my eyelids slowly becoming heavier and heavier. Even with the chaos on before, I wish this moment would last forever. Ellie and I together sharing a moment of solitary occasion together just as we used to. But if that's the case, why does she feel further away than she ever felt before? Oh boy, that was a thing. I can't believe I did that.